I want to show you guys how I used HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to build this particular neomorphic design, alright? And you can actually replicate that if you want to build that in your own project. You can just maybe use my code and do that. I don't have any problems with that, alright? But this works in such a way that you can even switch tabs. So if you want to maybe sign up, you can hit on the sign up tab and then it's switched to that sign up tab without like reloading the web page, alright? And not only that, you can also change the background. Let's say you want to change this to dark background, you can just switch and it will show you a dark background right there. So I want to basically like show you guys the code that I use in building that. I don't want to teach you how to build this. I'm just basically going to go ahead and then maybe go through the code, and you can just pause to type the code down, or maybe you can request for the link to get in the code, all right? So let me just basically show you guys that and without wasting much time, right? So this is just basically how the neomorphic design looks like, and this is just a sign up and a login form that I do have right here, all right? So currently it's on the tab of the login. You can enter your name right here, username. Let me say this is actually going to be code Kinder, and as a username, then you can go ahead and then put your password right here, all right? Then you can hit on where we have login right here. And again, you can also switch between the tabs that we have in here. So we do have something called a sign up in here. So if you hit on that, you see that opens up the page where you can actually register. So you can enter your username, your email address, your password, and you can go ahead and hit on sign up right here. So if you want to go back to the login, you can hit on the login button right here and it takes you to the section. So what I want to do is that I just basically want to show you, I want to give you this particular code. I'm not going to like kind of teach you line by line on how to basically code this, all right? But I'm just basically going to demo how I'll create the files and then copy and paste the code so that if you want to make use of it, you can just go ahead and then type the code out, all right? So to do that, I've really created a folder right here, which I kind of called a neo right here. Look at it, this particular folder. And I do have two files inside of it. So I'm going to include another as we move along anyway. But let me just first of all, I want to open this up with my Visual Studio Code. So if you right click on this and go to show more, open with Visual Studio Code, and I think I even already had that open, but the two files in there, they're actually empty. So we also need something like JavaScript. So I'm going to just do script right here. And this script is just for the switching, guys. So this is going to be JS, and we'll have that right here. So if you what we're going to do right here is, first of all, we're going to have to like bring in the HTML to this particular design that we're just kind of analyzing right now. So I'm going to get that and then paste that right here, and then we're going to go through it. So within this place right here, I want to paste the HTML code in here, and if I scroll to the top, and you see that we don't actually have much right here. This is just the title, neomorphic login in there, and then we'll have our style right here, which is pointing to this particular endpoint, style.css. And then we do have this right here, which just basically font on some link, the cloud link right here that we can use. And the reason that I'm using this is because I think I haven't actually shown you guys how I was able to toggle. Let me just go back in here. But if you click on here, you're going to see that you can toggle the background right here. You see what is happening in here? So you can toggle the background to change the background. So that's why I'm kind of including this right here, because the icons right here on this screen are just coming from that of the font also, right? So that's just basically what that is. So we do have that in there, and then within here, this is just basically the section for that toggle that I just clicked on, which I just showed you right now. But after that, the main section of the website, it kind of started from here. That's why we have this container link in here, or div right here, right? And then we'll have a couple of other divs within this particular place, and then we'll have these two buttons right here. And what this is, if I show you the screen right here, let me return to white, and then you see these two buttons right here are actually created using these two buttons I will have up here, right? Login and then sign up. And that ends right here. Then if you move, we're going to see that this particular div, it kind of covers the form itself. And within that place, we do have this particular form in here. And this form is just basically for the first one that you have seen right here. talking about this section right here. So that's just the form we have seen in there. If we want to take a look, and basically it has welcome, has a field for username and then password. We do have a login button down here, plus this forgot password link in here. So if we go to this section where we do have this, you see that we have create account, we have username, email, and password right here. Then even sign up, and then finally we have this paragraph down here. So I want to show you that. So that particular one, which is for the create account or sign up, is actually right here. It's a different form, right? Just basically a different form, and then it stops right here. So if you take a look at that very well, we do have an ID right here for sign up, and then we do have a class for that form, and then we'll have hidden, which we're going to basically use to hide the form as we visit the web page in the first place. It's going to hide the sign up, all right? That's just the class we're going to use to hide that. And then we do have H2 in here, which is create account, and then we'll have this right here, just basically outlining our first field in there, which is just basically the username, all right? And for the next one right here, we do have the input field in here, which is basically trying to outline the email, right? And then after that, the last thing is just all about the password that we have in here. And then finally, we'll have the sign up button, and this is the paragraph in there, all right? And I don't know that we do have, if you take a look in here, we'll see that we have a function that we're basically running. That's just a JavaScript function, all right? So that is what that is. If you also scroll up a little bit, you're going to see a couple of your functions that we're basically running right here to be able to switch those tabs around. So that is it. So this is typically our index page, and we can open that up. So if we double click on this and you hit on index, it's going to open this up for us right here, and it absolutely looks ugly because we don't have CSS yet. So we're going to include our CSS, and that's just going to be on this particular place. So let me copy the code and then paste that within this place. All right, guys, so I do have the CSS copied to the clipboard, and I want to paste that right here. And if I go through it, it should be able to like maybe pause and type this stuff out. But the first line in here is just the Google font. We basically want to bring in Google font in here. That's why I'm kind of doing this right here. Then after that, we are just trying to zero out all the margins in the page and setting the box sizing to border box. This is the font family. And we do have a background right here, a transition set on the background rather right here. Okay. Then after that, we have this body section. We're setting the background to what you're seeing right here. And that's just basically the whole background for the whole body of this. This is the original one. All right. So we're going to, if we run this, that background is actually going to come in here. So that is it. And after that, we do have the minimum height right here. We just, this is actually a viewport height right here. All right. And after that, we'll have our display set to flex, justify content to center, and we're just basically dealing with flex box right here. So that's just what that is. And then after that, here we are just like trying to target the background of the web page, and that's just that particular place where we are able to change the background to dark. And we're going to be able to bring in like this dark mode coming from our JavaScript. All right, we're going to be able to bring that from our JavaScript. And after that, we have this toggle right here, team toggle, and that's just basically what I've actually shown you guys right here. So I'm talking about this particular toggle for us to be able to toggle this, and that's just what that is. And then after that, we do have the label. So this one is just the label for the toggle, and I'm quite sure you already know what that is. So we just set the width to 60 pixels, height 30 pixels, and the rest of the things that we basically have in here. Then we'll set the box shadow down here. And for this cursor right here, set it out to pointer. We did it in such a way that if you bring your mouse button close to it, it turns to something like looks like that of a human hand. All right. So that's just what that is doing for us. And then after that, we are working on the dark mode right here again, but this time around, it just has to be done with that of the toggle label right here. And that is just that. And after that, we are just basically styling the font or some icons with this right here. So talking about those icons we already have from the toggle. And look down here, you see that we are kind of extending the what is it called, the design right there, trying to just change the background color, I mean the color of the those icons. And we have this right here, which is just basically for the ball. And it's also, this one is also basically coming from that of the font also. And after that, we also have down here, just continuing to style the ball, the toggle ball. All right. And down here, of course, the design for the toggle ball continues just that way until we go to the toggle right here. And this toggle is actually, this one is should be coming from right here. So if you scroll a little bit, okay, look at the toggle right here. All right, so we did have an ID called the toggle right here, and just still basically referring to the same place. All right, and then we just got into the container, which just almost beginning from this particular place where we have this sign up, these links right here, these two buttons that we do have in here. And after that, we went into the form proper to begin to style the form. All right, so if you take a look at that, you're going to see that we're getting into the form in here. And then the design for the dark mode is still in here in connection with the form container. And down here, this is the form toggle. Down here, and this particular form toggle right here, just basically referring to right here where we're able to like change tabs right here. All right. So that is that. And after that, we worked on this, and the BTN, that's just the buttons for the toggle, is what was styled right here. And the dark mode here, we just still talking about the toggle BTN. We just basically changed the color in there, and if it is actually active, we apply this style in there. And then we also worked on whether if the toggle BTN is also active, we applied this style in there. And down here we worked on the form itself. So I'm just basically showing you all of this so that you can just pause and then type the videos out, because I don't want to like type all of these things in here. This is where we hit the form, and this is the H2 in the form. And here we are still working on some stuff right there, just basically the H2 in there. And then the input group right here, setting that to position relative. And down here we do have the input field, all right, start right here. And then down here, try to connect that to the background or the body in case we ever toggle the background right there. So the input label group right here, we worked on that, and also trying to connect that if we ever change the background with the toggle. And here also have this right here talking about the label, if it is actually focused and if it is actually a kind of a valid. So after that, if you check down here, uh, just basically doing the same thing down here, almost the same thing. And then we worked on the highlight right here. You must have seen this particular class. And after that, we worked on this, and just like that, guys. So there's nothing actually hidden in here. So here is the neumorphic BTN. So this is the style for that. And after that, we try to also connect that in case we ever toggled even here. So I just basically like looking for ways to change the background and all of that. So here also we are still working on that. And then for the footer, we do have the footer right here on the form. So this is just the last place in here. So you take a look at that. I'm quite sure you guys kind of understand that. So I want to save the changes in here. And if we go back to our browser and I want to open up this style right here, then I want to refresh, you see that it comes back to what we got right here, and it looks like just like the original. All right, so this is the original in here, and this is the one we got right here. And by default, you see that this particular part is actually hidden, and if you hit on it, it's not actually going to show unless we connect your JavaScript, right? And here, even if you click in here, you're going to see that the ball will be moving, but it's not going to like apply the changes of the backend, I mean of the JavaScript in here, so that the background can actually change. All right, but you can see the ball just moving around. Now, what we want to do next is to just bring in the JS code in here, and I'm going to do that right now. All right, guys, so I do have the JS code copied to the clipboard, and I want to paste that in here. All right, So just tiny bit of code anyway. So here we are just working on the dark and the light mode. I've actually done this before, and that's just basically the last video that I kind of uploaded. If you want to learn how you can actually do this, you can just go and watch that particular video. So and that's why I'm just like basically just kind of showing you the code that I used to build this neomorphic design right here on neomorphism. All right. So I don't want to like go through typing all of these things out again, but that's just what it is, guys. So we're just basically trying to like create the dark and then the light mode in here, and we'll create two variables right here, toggle, and then the body right here. And after that, we added an event listener to be able to change the background. And we're changing that between dark and that of the light mode down here. All right. So after that, we have a load save the theme right here. And all that means is just we're just basically looking for a way to like save that within our browser history. All right. So that if you refresh, it still stays. All right. Then after that, we have toggle between login and and sign up right here. So that's just basically what we're doing. And here we do have this particular function right here, which is just for the sign up, right? So this one is for the login, and this one is actually for the sign up. So let's save the changes in here. And then if we go back to the browser, let's make sure we refresh. Now we can tab this over. So if I hit on sign up, you see that it opens up this. So if I hit on login, it opens up this, all right? And we can type in here, and then hit on login. And we can also hit on the forgot password right here to take us to anywhere we want to go. But I did not actually set this one. However, the next feature is to hit on this toggle right here. You see how the background is actually changing, guys. This is how it's changing. So that is just that. So I hope you've seen all the things that you need to see on the code. So just all you need is just pause and then type the code out. So that's just it, guys. So and I hope you like the video, and if you like that, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and I think I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.